So guys, obviously I've been pretty busy trying to get this truck back on the road, but finally, as you can see, it's back on the road, and honestly, the thing is killer. So obviously, if you watched the last video, if you haven't watched the video, go get caught up on kind of what is all in this build, because it can kind of be confusing if you are, doing this kind of swap and you're using the Holley Terminator. The sensors and stuff like that definitely have to be selected right and set up in the software correctly. But honestly, once I got it going and I learned how to use the software, it was really, really simple. So kind of a brief rundown of what this is a 67 F100. I went out and I bought a 2006 Crown Vic police interceptor. Took the engine and the transmission out of it. I think it had around like 70,000 miles on the engine and transmission. So I took the front suspension, the engine, transmission. Actually, I just snagged everything. I got everything that I possibly could. I even used the cooling fan from the original Crown Vic, so that was pretty cool. But I swapped everything into the 67 F100, and honestly, like, you can't beat it. I mean, obviously there's more powerful engines and better transmissions and everything like that, but just having a modern engine and transmission in an old truck, there's just nothing like it. So I actually have the 4R75E transmission. You can actually control that transmission with the Holley Terminator X Max. So in the parameters, you can set like when your lockup kicks in and everything like that. And I'm telling you, when you're, driving 60 miles an hour and that lockup is in, you can't beat the feeling. I mean, it's just humming along, sounds great. I did go over the fuel system that I went with on this vehicle, so you can go check that out. I'll link to it up in the corner. So most people, whenever they're doing the Crown Vic swap, they end up opting for like an 8.8 rear end out of a Crown Vic or an Explorer, and I just didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep the 9-inch. So I ended up going with a QA1 rear suspension kit, and honestly, I mean, there's no body roll. I mean, the thing, it's great. I mean, I'm sitting here with a smile on my face because it's that much fun. One thing I didn't get on video that I realize now that I should have is the alternator is actually controlled by the computer on a 2006 Crown Vic police interceptor. So basically, there's a 3-pin plug that you have to wire up, and basically you have to run the middle wire to the Holley as one of the outputs. Basically, it just sends a signal to the alternator on when to charge the system, and without that hooked up, my alternator didn't work. So a lot of people, they'll convert to like a one wire. It's not really necessary. You can make the factory style alternator work. Battery voltage is like bouncing around like 13.9, 14s. So it's, I mean, it's just a consistent setup. I mean, you got good fuel pressure, good oil pressure, temps are all perfect. It's a great setup. I mean, it's killer. So this truck will be on the road for long drives. I mean, I think the only thing I want to do before I take it on any long cruises is probably get a new seat. Something like TMI or something like. Almost a bucket would be nice, because now that it's got this suspension on it, you got the factory bench seat and you're making sharp turns and slamming you up against the door. So that's probably one thing that I'll change, is like to get a seat with some bolstering to kind of keep you like centered in the seat instead of like slamming you against the door. So that's one thing I would like to change. But yeah, I mean, I plan on driving it down to Tennessee in September to go to the F100 show down there. I think it's like September 21st through the 23rd. So I plan on going down there, and I mean, I'm going to drive it 6 hours or so down there, 5 or 6 hours. Again, so this is like the shop truck, right? So I wanted something with a modern engine so that I could go and actually like go long distances. And I know that, the big block Ford would have done it, but it's going to do it so much better with a modern engine and transmission in there. So, and suspension and everything. So this was kind of the idea, was to be able to, go to car shows and that type of thing and actually like interact with people and you know, show them what I'm working on and stuff like that. So this was a really, really fun build. And obviously this is not going to be the end of this build because there's so much more I want to do to it. So you'll just have to stay tuned. Real quick, a little side note here. I've been getting a lot of questions on the wheels. So on the front, I ended up going with a 8.5. Yeah, it's 8.5 wide and 18-inch diameter. And then on the rear, I went with an 18 diameter with a 9.5 width. So, and then I basically took the biggest tire or the widest tire that I could possibly get shrunk down onto that wheel. It's the Nitto NT 555, super popular tire right now. I got the widest one that I could fit just because I wanted that like meatier sidewall. So I think the rear tire ended up being 10.5 to 11 inches wide. So it's a good amount of tire back there. And I'm not going to go crazy with this build. I mean, I'm not, you know, going to try to push it for 1,000 horsepower or anything. You know how that stuff can go though. So who knows? Maybe one day it might be over 1,000 horsepower. I have no idea. But anyways, in the foreseeable future, I just want this thing to be like very mild, maybe like a turbo or pro charger build or something. So I'm just kind of like pricing that stuff out right now, but obviously I've got a lot of work to do. The Corvette's back, so I'm going to show you guys that real quick. I don't know if you guys remember this, but 67 Corvette, and it was brought to me sometime last year, and got it to like where it was almost ready for some paint. So I'm just wrapping up some block sanding on it, and then I've kind of like worked my way all the way back here to the back, and be shooting a sealer coat on it, and then we'll be going with the Marina Blue. So obviously there's still some things that need to be done to get it, you know, painted, but you guys will see that on the channel. And then up here I've done a crazy amount of work on this 56 Chevy. So all the metal is all welded in there. An update on this is coming too. I've been extremely busy, but there is a video coming on this. There's a video coming on that. Obviously the video on the truck's coming right this very second you're watching it. So basically I've just been extremely busy, but I'm glad I can get this truck wrapped up. Now I'm just kind of playing catch up, trying to get caught up on, you know, some customer stuff. So I just wanted to get this video out to you guys and let you know that the truck is officially back on the road. If you're curious about the exhaust, I'm probably going to add a small like bullet style muffler or resonator just to kind of calm it down a little bit more. It's just a catless 4.6 liter 2 valve. It's got a Flowmaster 40 series on there, and I mean, it sounds really good. It's just there's a lot of noise inside the cab. So if we're gonna make those longer drives, it'd probably be a good idea to kind of quiet it down a little bit. But if I make any changes, I will definitely post them. But yeah, I mean, the thing is just so much fun. So I'm gonna leave you guys with some little shots I took just kind of walking around it. If you're interested in seeing where this truck is gonna go, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And obviously if you wanna check out the Corvette, 56 Chevy, I will link to all those up in the corner because they have their own playlist. But other than that, I'm gonna go edit this video, get it out to you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.